Today we're going to be talking about circles, their equations, chords, and tangents. To start off, a circle is a round shape with a center, and each point on the circle is equidistant from that center point. A chord in a circle is any line that goes from one point on the circle to any other point on the circle. A line tangent to a circle means that it only touches one point on the circle. In order for this to happen, the tangent line must be perpendicular to the line made from that same point to the center. Here's some examples. So for circle equations, there are two different equations. One is without the center and one is with the center. For the one without the center, it is simply just x squared plus y squared equals r squared, where x and y represent any point on the circle. For the one with the center, it'll be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h and k represent the points of the center. For chords, you can see it is just a line that goes from one point of the circle to the other. And then here's another example to show that it can go from any point. And then for tangents, you can see the tangent line right here. All it is just it touches right there on one point, and it makes a 90-degree angle from the line from the same point that it goes through to the center. Now let's go over some practice problems. So for the first practice problem, we're going to find an equation for the circle that goes through the points A, negative 2, 6, B, 4, 8, C, 8, 6, then find the equation of the line tangent to the circle that goes through point C. So as you can see here, we have our graph set up with the points, and I went ahead and drew the line segments from AB and BC, as well as the perpendicular bisectors, because we'll need to find those. So to start off, we're going to need to find the perpendicular bisector of segment AB, and to do that, we'll first find the midpoint of AB, and as you go through, you can go through the midpoint, solve for it. Here we got 1, 7, and then we're going to find the midpoint for BC, which is 6, 7. After that, we're going to find the slopes for each of the lines, and then also find the perpendicular slopes to go along with the perpendicular bisector. So here we go through the process of finding the slope, and then the perpendicular slope will be negative 3 for line AB, and then here for BC, the perpendicular slope will be 2. Now from here, we have enough information to plug in equations for the perpendicular bisectors. So the perpendicular bisector for AB will be y minus 7 equals negative 3 times x minus 1. And here for BC, it'll be y minus 7 equals 2 times x minus 6. And here, since both equations equal y minus 7, we can just simply set them equal to each other and solve for x and y. And then as we go through here, go through the process, and here we found out that 3 equals x, and then you plug that back into one of the equations, solve through, and here y equals 1, therefore the center is 3, 1. Now that's just for the center. To find the radius, we just do distance formula from the center to one other point. Here we chose C just because it doesn't matter. And then we just go through the distance formula, find out that it's root 50, and then we plug it into the circle equation, which for this will be x minus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 50. Now to find the tangent line, it's fairly simple. All you got to do is just find the perpendicular bisector from the center to any one point, and since we're supposed to find it from point C, which is 8, 6, from the center, which is 3, 1, we'll just find the slope of it. Going through the slope, find the perpendicular slope, which would be negative 1, and then put it into the equation because we already know which point it has to go through. All we need to do is find the perpendicular slope, and that'll be y minus 6 equals negative 1 times x minus 8. Now for the second practice problem, we're going to find the length of a chord in a circle with the given information we have. So we have here is a circle with a radius of 12, and it is making a triangle with the chord with a 48-degree angle. And from there you can go two ways. The first way is just a way that we learned earlier. All you do is just cut the triangle in half and use trig. Here you'll have a 24-degree angle because it's cut in half. And then we'll get sine 24 equals x over 12. Multiply by 12 to isolate x. And then solve for x. And then there, since it's only half the triangle, we have to multiply it by 2. So 4.881 times 2 equals 9.762. And then if you're later on into the year, we figured out how to do law of cosines, which is simple as well. You just plug it into the equation, go through the process of solving it, and then you end up getting 9.762. So that's how you can find these things.